like to ask the Minister for Policy Reform what progress he has made with the review of free TV licences for people over 75.
On the Minister for Policy and Reform, Mr Harmer.
Thank you, Mr President. The Cabinet Office has not undertaken and is not currently undertaking a review of free TV licences for people who are aged 75 or over. As the honourable members may recall, the BBC now has the power to determine the eligibility for a TV licence funded by the corporation in the Isle of Man, the United Kingdom and the Channel Islands. The BBC recently carried out a consultation on age-related TV licence policy in the Isle of Man and the Channel Islands. I can advise honourable members that government responded to the BBC's consultation on this matter and asked the BBC to fully fund free TV licences for all over 75s in the island from the 1st of January next year. However, the decision of the BBC board is made entirely independently. The consultation closed on the 10th of September and we are waiting for that decision. If the BBC decides to fund TV licences for certain over 75s in the island, for example, in a similar way to the United Kingdom, the Treasury and the Council Ministers will be considering the next steps as a matter of priority. This will enable us to give clarity to our older residents as soon as possible about the practical arrangements from the start of next year. The Council of Ministers is of course mindful of the Tynwald resolution from October 2016 on free TV licences for over 75s and it respects that resolution.
Supplementary question, Mr Moorhouse.
Thank you, Mr President, and thank you, Minister, for that slightly disappointing answer. For clarity, is the Department simply responding to the consultation and apart from that you're not proactive at all in this area? Also, with a view to the value of the free TV licences, given that's got a total value of around 850,000, is anything being done to capture that value for island residents? Thank you, Mr President.
Sorry, Mr President, could you repeat that second part of the question?
I think that's going beyond what's on the order paper, quite frankly. I think it was the value of the licence that you're asking about.
No, just in terms of, sorry, Mr President, just in terms of the current licences for the people over 75 that are free, that's got a value of around about £875,000.
Thank you, Honourable Member.
Okay, thank you, Mr President. In terms of discussions with the BBC, I never said there aren't lots of discussions with the BBC between officers, and obviously the discussions have been considerably delayed by the coronavirus pandemic, but I had my first video conference with the Director of BBC England at the end of last month. My introductory meeting was helpful and constructed, and we have another call scheduled for next month. But obviously it's a consultation that they have entered into, and then they will be reporting shortly on that consultation, and once we have that information we will make that available.
Mr Moorhouse, supplementary.
Thank you, Mr President. The BBC consultation was relatively low profile and focused on social media. What did the department do to increase people's awareness of the consultation and help the people over 75 respond effectively? Thank you.
Minister.
Thank you. What I can say is the format was the same for consultations aimed at Jersey and Guernsey, and a similar format to those earlier consultations of funding TV licences for over 75s in the UK. The consultation was publicised by the BBC. Obviously, whether it's suitable for those over 75 is a matter of subjective speculation, but personally I did think it was fairly clear. The government responded to consultation, and obviously we've talked about that. Also, I know a number of other organisations, in particular Live at Home, also picked up the consultation and put quite a large amount of information in the media, so I think it was well advertised.
Mr Moorhouse.
Thank you, Mr President.
This is the final supplementary on this question, Honourable Member.
And finally, once the BBC's decision is made, will that be announced to the island people straight away? Will there be a delayed process whilst the department look at that decision?
Minister.
Obviously, once the BBC make that announcement, it will be announced, and obviously we will then need to work out how that. We've already had a number of discussions with officers of scenarios and practicalities, so obviously then we will take that, as I said, into the Council of Ministers and work on that. But as at the moment, we don't know what the board has decided.